Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Greetings of peace. My name is Sanat Karkat. I am the Northeast Regional Manager at Islamic Relief USA, and I am just very, very happy to be with you here today. The happy webinar came about because I felt like a lot of us were going through a tough time, obviously, right? And there's just all these webinars and all these lectures and all these like tips and emails saying, hey, you need to do this and you need to do that, and here's another person preaching at you, and here's another person to tell you how to take care of XYZ, and you're just like, so much information, too much, that we wanted something to feel happy about. We wanted a breather. And so this is where the happy webinar came about, where I was like, you know what, let's see if we can get a bunch of my friends on here who I'm sure that you guys love too, some of my favorite people on earth, and let's try and get happy. Let's talk to one another. Let's just be more human, because it feels like we've all been on a screen, and it's been really weird lately. But tonight is also about something very special. We're going to be fundraising, inshallah, lightly. I'm not going to scare you guys. I know we just started, but our Ramadan food box campaign. So if you can please do me a favor, go to launchgood.com/Ramadan box. Every little bit can go a long way. So $50 brings a meal to a family. And while we're here and we're happy, alhamdulillah, we're safe in our homes or in our backyards or wherever it is, we have our snacks, we have our families. I want you to be able to share a meal with somebody too. Bring a snack to someone, all right? So just keep that in mind, and you can get the link in the chat box. We have an amazing team that's been sharing things throughout. And like I said, keep it engaging. Put all your comments in there. Tell me what city and state you're watching in from. I know we have a lot of people from all over, so I want to see where you're watching us from. And don't tell me from space. Let's keep it realistic, people. And without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to Islamic Relief's newest edition, the Northeast's newest addition to the fundraising department, someone that I'm very happy to have on our team, our development coordinator of the Northeast, Brother Mustafa Badruddin, for our special recitation and Quran opening. Oh, sorry, special recitation and dua. There you go, brother.
Thank you so much, Sana. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Hopefully everybody can hear me good. Can I get a 1 in the chat box if everybody can hear me? And maybe a thumbs up from the panelists? Awesome, amazing, mashallah, mashallah. Okay, let's get started, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman, a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث صدق الله العظيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. O Allah, we hope for your mercy. Do not leave us to ourselves even for a blink of an eye. Correct all of our affairs for us. There is none worthy of worship except for you, Ya Allah. There is no deity but you, Ya Allah, the knowing, the most merciful. There is no deity but you, Ya Allah, the Lord of the magnificent throne. There is no deity but you, Ya Allah, the Lord of the heavens, the Lord of the earth, and the Lord of the noble throne. O living and eternal sustainer, by your mercy we seek relief. O Allah, make us content with what you have provided us. Send blessings for us therein, and replace for us every absent thing with something better. My Lord, build for each and every one of us a home with you in paradise, and save us from the people who are wrongdoers. O Allah, we seek your forgiveness and your protection in this world and in the next. O Allah, we seek your forgiveness, your protection in our religion, in our worldly affairs, in our families, in our wealth. O Allah, conceal our secrets and preserve us from anguish. O Allah, guard us from what is in front of us, from what's behind us, from what's on our left, from what's on our right, and from above. We seek refuge in your greatness from being struck down from beneath us. O Allah, I ask you for knowledge that is of benefit of good provision, and deeds that will be accepted, Ya Allah. O Allah, increase us all in knowledge. O my Lord, truly we are in need of whatever good you bestow upon us. O Allah, let us reach the month of Ramadan. O Allah, make our fasts the fasts of those who fast sincerely, and our standing up in prayer of those who stand in prayer obediently. O Allah, take us closer towards your pleasure. Keep us away from your anger and punishment. Grant us the opportunity to recite your verses of the Quran by your mercy, Ya Arhamar Rahimin. O Allah, strengthen us in carrying out our commands, in carrying out your commands, Ya Allah. Let us taste the sweetness of your remembrance and grant us through your graciousness that we give you thanks. O Allah, protect us with your protection and cover. Ya Allah, place us amongst those who seek forgiveness. Place us amongst the righteous and obedient servants, and place us amongst your close friends by your kindness, Ya Arhamar Rahimin. O Allah, help us with our fasts and our prayers in Ramadan, and keep us away from mistakes and sins of the day. Grant us that we remember you continuously throughout the day by your assistance. Ya Allah, let us have mercy on the orphans. Let us feed the hungry and spread peace. O Allah, make us love goodness and dislike corruption and disobedience. O Allah, make us patient over events that are decreed. Grant us the ability to be pious and keep company with the good. Let us have company with the good. بِعَوْنِكَ يَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنِ الْمَسَاكِينَ. O Allah, guide us towards righteous actions. Fulfill our needs and hopes. O one who does not need explanation or question. O Allah, open for us the doors of the heavens and lock the doors of hell from us. Help us to recite the Quran. O one who sends down tranquility into the hearts of the believers. O Allah, show us the way to win your pleasure. Do not let shaitan have a means over us. Make paradise an abode and a resting place for us. O Allah, we want to ask for what pleases you, and we seek refuge in you from what displeases you. And we ask you to grant us the opportunity to obey you and not disobey you ever, Ya Allah. O Allah, make our efforts worthy of appreciation and our sins forgiven and our deeds accepted, Ya Asma' as-Sami'in. Wa sallallahu wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Ameen.
Barakallah feek, Jazakallah khair, Brother Mustafa. Thank you so much for that beautiful dua and prayer for us all to feel a little bit more calm, to really get into the feeling of, hey, let's share some love. Thank you so much to everybody who just joined us. I want to share some of the cities and shout you out because I'm so happy to see this amazing diversity. We have a lot of people from all over California, different cities. Nice to see some folks from Pennsylvania. I see London, UK. I saw that, which is awesome. Hey guys, seeing a bunch of New Jersey places, New York. Keep sharing where you're watching us from, and share the link with more people so they can enjoy and have a good time with us. I'm really excited for our next segment, which is kind of like the first segment, the busybody chat, right? What is busybody? So our next guest is someone who is constantly doing 1,000 things all at once. She's going to be sharing tips on how to work from home, how to keep sane, and how to navigate this new normal. Busybody herself, really. So I want you guys to meet someone that's very dear to me. Please help me welcome the Executive Director of the Muslim Network, which is a community organization that aims to bring Jersey Muslims together across racial, class, and geographic backgrounds. Essma is also on the board of Wafa House, an agency that serves victims of violence and survivors of domestic abuse. Her favorite quote is by Maya Angelou, but still, like air, I'll rise. And I think that it's important to share that. She is by far my favorite community organizer. She's a true activist that doesn't just talk the talk, but also does the work. She's my sister, my best friend, and one of my favorite humans to exist. Please help me welcome Miss Essma Bengabsia.
You're so sweet, Sanat. I love like the silent claps on mute. Thank you for the warm introduction. That is one of my closest and dearest friends. And the work that you're all doing at Islamic Relief is so critical now more than ever. So thank you, and thank you, Saeed and Mustafa and everyone at Islamic Relief. The domestic programs you guys are doing around relief around COVID-19 is literally life-saving. So I hope that everyone here contributes however you can, whether it's spreading word, contributing to the campaign. It's really important. So Busybody Chat, I thought that was a hilarious title, because I don't really call myself busy. I juggle a lot, but I'm like, as usual, just cruising through. But before I jump in, when Sanat kind of brought up the topic to me and was like, Essma, I want you to talk about how you're surviving quarantine, trying to stay productive. Something that Ustadha Maryam Ahmed, who's a scholar based in Maryland, said just came to mind right away. And she said, she put up a really lengthy post that I thought was really insightful. And she talks about how we are all navigating quarantine in very different ways, and we have very different situations. You know, some of us have 3 or 4 kids to take care of, and this is just extremely difficult to manage. A full-time job, and children who are at home. Some have elderly parents to take care of, and they're really afraid for their health. Some have like all of the above, and some of us have very little responsibilities besides taking care of ourselves. And so I say that because I think as we navigate this conversation, right-size things how you see fit for yourself. So Ustadha Maryam was talking about how for those of us who are caring for others, and that is taking up 90% of our day, and so we're not able to be productive and read like 30 books a day, or work out for like an hour every single day, that's fine. That's your way of contributing, and that is your ajr with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So each person and where they are, and that's what Allah chose for us. So that's just what we can focus on.
So Essma, what are you doing though, you personally navigating this whole new normal? What's something that's been trying to help you with cope, I guess, or how are you dealing with all these changes of you being constantly home, because you're never usually home?
Yeah, I know I'm going semi-crazy, but it's okay. Well, first thing is, again, in thinking about kind of a lot of the privileges and flexibilities that I have in being at home and being able to work from home and having all of this luxury, first thing I'm trying to do is actually just check up on a lot of people in my community. My neighbors, a lot of people who I know live alone and don't necessarily have anyone who's keeping them company in this quarantine. I'm trying to check up on a lot of the elderly, people who might not have their children living around them, and so they have no one to take care of for them. And I mean, I've tried to call at least maybe like 3 dozen people since the quarantine started. Not one person actually asked me for help, but they were like, just you checking in means a lot. So that's what I would recommend for everyone to start with, is just pick up the phone, 2 or 3 people who just check up on them, just ask how they're doing. A little goes a long way. And then in terms of the fun stuff, there's a whole bunch of things I've been trying to do. First thing is, any chance I get to stay away from the screen, I am trying really hard to stay away, just because looking at the screen all day for 8+ hours from work to to community organizing, to all these things, it's just completely killing my eyes, killing my brain, giving me a headache, and I'm sure for many of you it's the same thing. And also we just turn to social media for entertainment, but that's like hours on end every single week, and that's just completely straining our eyes. So trying to do actual things instead of electronic related things. My biggest thing is I'm trying to cook more over this quarantine. One of my 2020 resolutions is to actually start cooking. Anyone who knows me knows I'm like the worst chef on the face of this planet. I always try to make things I think they taste great, and then I give a little bit to my friends and my family, and they just like run the other way. So trying to get a lot better at that. Also great for your wallet when you cook a lot more for yourself or make your own coffee or lattes. So I'm trying to explore that part of the world.
I was wondering, how are you dealing without your matcha latte?
Yeah, you know, it's funny you ask. Sana asked me this before because I'm obsessed with matcha lattes, but my sister went and grabbed me one, so today's my lucky day. But my father makes great matcha lattes as well, so turn to him, alhamdulillah. Other things I'm trying to do are like more social things. So when I am on the screen, Netflix parties are a huge thing. They are getting me through this quarantine with my friends. If you don't know what Netflix parties are, there's like this feature on Netflix where you could pretty much like share a link of whatever movie or show you're going to watch, and then a bunch of people jump on that link, and there's a chat box on the side, so it really tries to create the feel of watching movies and shows with your family. The last thing is exercising. There are a whole bunch of like workout classes online now. I've been talking about doing them since quarantine started. Whether I've actually done one or not is a completely different story, but it's definitely on my list. There are like yoga classes, like Zumba, a whole bunch of stuff. So that's another really great way to survive the quarantine.
That's awesome. I know that also the last time I spoke with you, you had like a bunch of books that were all over and right behind you. What are you reading, Essma?
Yeah. Oh my God. I can talk about books forever. If it
That's
was
a
a
different
useful life, I'd literally, I know, that's a whole completely different webinar. Essma's reading list. I would happily do that. There's so many books. So wait, this book I recommend to all of you. Linda Subsluda recently released a book about her life, and it is incredible, inspiring, super uplifting. So I'm trying to read that. Reading books by Stacey Abrams because I'm completely obsessed with her. I have like every single book she's ever published. I know we can't endorse political candidates. I'm not endorsing her, but I'm endorsing her book. But there's a whole bunch. Also, if you're looking for, again, feel free to email me. I can give you a full list, but this book is super interesting too. I'm going to take a while to guess and say most of the people on this webinar are Muslim millennials. And this book is called Generation M, talks about how Muslim millennials are literally reshaping global markets. So our buying power, how we're like super loud about a lot of like the things we care about in terms of how we purchase, and how we've literally reshaped the courses of companies globally based on boycotts we've done. So really cool. The book is called Generation M, Young Muslims Changing the World, for the person who just dropped the question. Really great book.
Thank you, Essma. I know while you're in your bedroom, I know you're trying to save the world, and I think you really will. So thank you for that.
Yeah, but thank you so much for having me, Sana. Again, I think the work that Islamic Relief is doing is really important, and every single person has a different way they can contribute, whether it's to share on social media, donating whatever you can. So thank you for having us here, and thank you for the work you're all doing.
Thank you so much for hopping on. I mean, you're a huge IR supporter. You've always been one of our best volunteers, and we are actually joined by a lot of our amazing volunteers watching us right now. So shout out to anybody who's ever volunteered with Islamic Relief. Woohoo! Jazakumullah khair for that. You know, I just got to say, Essma just dropped a lot of gems, much like the coffee stain that just dropped on my sweater. So alhamdulillah for that. So while I've been fluctuating between feeling like a hot mess and having days where I'm like, you know what? I think I got this quarantine on lock. I think I'm doing a good job. You know, I have some of those days. But I wondered, how are the super moms doing during this lockdown? And so we all have that friend that, mashallah, that has her life together. You know, she keeps healthy. She's super involved in the community. She has an amazing schedule for her children. And she still serves those looks, mashallah, you know, the super mom. And so I was thinking, let's talk to one. Our next guest is a mom of 3, nationally registered EMT, founding president of Rayan's Crayons, a nonprofit organization for children in need, Green Dean activist, certified gut health consultant. Her slogan, Love, Heal, Take Control, comes from her newly established YouTube channel and IGTV, talks about how to treat our human vessel, our beautiful body, with love and respect by raising awareness of what we eat, and encourages people to do the research. And you can catch her on her YouTube, Fazia Khan. Please, we go live to Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, to my favorite supermom, Fazia Khan. Woo! Unmute your mic, Fazia. And by the way, she is still serving those looks, mashallah.
Alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you doing, Fazia? How are you and the littles?
I am good. First off, thank you for that crazy bio and all that information. Every mom out there is a super mom. I'm just going to say that. Alhamdulillah. But Yeah, we're doing good. Thank you for asking. We've been hanging out with each other. You know, we're trying to be grateful during this time, you know, using this time to get closer to each other, but also closer to our Lord. But I have to say, the struggle has been super real. Trying to find me time now, since the kids are at home. It's been like very, very chaotic. Their personalities have been more and more evident by the day, like day to day. I'm just seeing things that I've never ever seen before, honestly. So things that basically I'm learning to accept as the norm, you know, where I'm like walking around and I'll find patches of hair on the ground, real live human hair. I see perfume bottles with Q-tips inside of them, 82 worms on my deck that were collected there. So, you know, the usual, right? Isn't that the usual with
Yeah,
right?
yeah, totally. I mean, patches of hair on the floor, totally normal.
Totally,
Goes to take a
right?
nap for 5 seconds and the kid takes off all their hair. Yeah,
Yeah,
super
honestly,
mom, really, yeah.
that was my me time. I went into a room. I tried to lock myself up for like a little bit. I just need a little, you know, I did their classes, tried to do the cooking, cleaning, whatever I could. And I'm like, all right, well, I need a little bit of me time. I need to breathe. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to lock the room up so they don't know I'm in here. Yeah, so it was like, yeah, I think I had a good half an hour, maybe 45 minutes. Started walking
That's
out.
nice.
It was nice. I walked out casually to my room, you know, try to find my book or put something down. And I looked down, and right next to my bed, there was like patches of hair like everywhere. And I swear I thought there was someone actually hiding under my bed. And yeah, of course, it was my youngest daughter. She had chopped off her hair here.
Well, I hope you were able to style it nicely and make it look all cute and stuff. How have
it at home.
I'm sure she is, like her mom. What has been the go-to snack for you guys? Have you guys been snacking a lot and running out of snacks within 24 hours and you thought it would last the whole month?
Yeah, I guess so. My kids love waffles. I make a lot of waffles at home. So that's kind of been the thing we do. It's a great way to sneak in some superfoods, just saying. And then we make this thing that my mother-in-law calls the Pakistani pizza, and which is defined as an aloo paratha, a potato paratha. I don't know for those Desis out there that know what I'm talking about.
Hey, shout out to all our Desis watching.
So we just cut the paratha into like pieces, like slices that resemble a pizza. So, you know, it's a great way to get veggies into the kids and they have no idea that it's not an actual pizza.
That's very good. That's actually a genius thing. So Fazia is always very good at these things in terms of sneaking in these healthy tricks. And she reminds me of like, you know those moms
that, on the top shelf. So
you're cutting off Fazia, but one thing I joked with her about was she's not the mom that buys her kids juice. She's the mom that actually makes juice. That's dedication right there. So I think her connection is cutting out. But thank you so much, Fazia, for sharing everything. And I hope you and the kids are staying well and healthy and all this. Oh, there you are. Thank you so much, Fazia, for all that you shared with us. I hope things get better for you. I know it's not easy, but it kind of makes us feel just a little bit better to know that the super mom is also struggling. I'm so sorry. I just have to be honest. I want to bring your attention, everyone, to the Launch Good page that we're really trying to ask people to support. If you could please do me a favor while you're watching with us, go to launchgood.com/RamadanBox. It's really important that we try and get to the goal. So right now we're very close. We're over 30% of the goal, and we want to complete the goal by tonight. Share the link with your entire network. Every dollar goes a long way. We want to make sure that not only are we taking care of ourselves, which we should, it's very important that we all take care of ourselves, and that's why we have this webinar, but we want to share the love as well. I know that everyone's heart has been extra soft, and we've been doing more than what we've done in the past, and we're all trying to be there for one another. So please donate what you can. A few dollars, $5, a meal for a family is $50. So please put that in there and share it with your family, share it with your friends. The link is in the box. And if at any point you guys have any questions that you want to ask any of our amazing panelists, do me a favor. There's a section where it says Q&A. Feel free to drop in your question right in there. Okay, I hope that's sounds good to you guys. Thank you for everyone keeping the chat box alive. It's nice to see that. we want to move right along to our next segment, which I'm really excited about. It's someone who actually keeps me in constant awe of her brilliance and her eloquence in her reporting. While we've been watching the phenomenon of the toilet paper shortage, the surge of TikTok accounts, I wondered what else are humans doing to cope with everything that's going on. There's just been a lot of crazy stuff going out there. And for that, we're going to go to the most sassy, well-spoken individuals out there. You definitely want to follow her on Twitter if you don't. Her handle is @Rowaida_Abdel. We can have someone share it in the chat. She is the national reporter at Huffington Post, where her reporting focuses on civil rights and social justice issues within the Muslim and Middle Eastern communities. She has broken numerous stories from across the US. Some of her notable work includes documenting the challenges that Muslim women face, to exposing anti-Muslim employee discrimination in the workplace, as well as reporting on Islamophobic legislation and policies. She is a heavy hitter, the voice of our community in the mainstream media, and she's holding it down like a boss. She just so happens to be one of my best friends too, so please help me welcome Ms. Rowaida Abdelaziz. Woo!
Yay! Can I clap for myself? Is that weird? Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Super excited to be here and just blown away by the introduction, as always, Sana. You know, I have to say this is the first time that I've been brought up to talk about news, but was told to keep it happy. So let me just put out a disclaimer that news is never happy. We don't do happy news usually. That's not the news that we see on our TVs or we're reading on our phones. And it's definitely not the news of the times, but I did my absolute best in order to keep our spirits up, so that we can talk about some things about how we're coping and how we're doing a good job. And so the first thing I wanted to shout out, you know, it's testing times. I think we're all being challenged in different ways, but our community has been incredible when it comes to stepping up to the crisis. I think I have gotten emails and read articles, and I've seen pictures of Muslims everywhere doing incredible things, whether it was entrepreneurs starting their own organization so that they can donate food to their elderly neighbors, masajid who are still operating and are not necessarily congregating for prayers, but providing social services, sending out zakat money. Fashion influencers and Muslim fashion brands are donating hijabs, they're donating protective equipment and masks. And so I feel like in this era of negative news, and let's be real, we are the first ones to understand the impact of negative news, a little too close to home for all of us. There has been a slew of positivity and incredible things, I think, across the world, in the US, in the UK, in the Middle East, in South Africa. And I've just been so happy and so incredibly blessed to be seeing all of that. And so I think it's super important that when we share things like this, that these are the ones that we're circulating online and in our circles, because we see the negativity too much. And speaking of our online and spreading things in our circles, as a journalist, it's super important to me to tell you guys, especially our people, please fact check your sources, right? We are very heavy hitters on the forwards. We want to make sure that everybody knows everything. I promise you that PhD that your aunt has from WhatsApp University is not going to protect you from the virus, right? It's not going to necessarily be the thing that you want to spread to your family and your friends, especially when things are already super tense. So if you get a WhatsApp forward, I would say maybe read it a few times. If you can't click on the link, that should tell you something. If it came from a village in, you know, Pakistan that you've never heard about, probably a little bit shady. So it runs in my blood for me to tell you guys to fact check. I can't tell you how many things my poor mother has sent me. And I've had to be like, no, mama, like the world is not gonna convert into Islam and we're all not gonna be Maccabis tomorrow, no matter how much that dawah sheikh sent you that forward. So really important to keep that, you guys. I think the other thing that is super important, yes, we want to make wudu. Wudu has so many blessings. wudu may not be the same as a form of protection, right? If people are saying use soap, we use soap. And so I think there's a slew of conspiracy theories out there that we've been hearing, which has been so funny. But enough with the jokes. I think in all seriousness, news is depressing. Covering news can sometimes be depressing. It's all there. Sometimes it's hard to not check it. It's obsessive for all of us. And so one of my favorite things has been watching TikTok. And so that's just a personal hobby of mine. I've gotten my mom to download the TikTok app, and she has been happily entertained. And so for those of us who don't know what TikTok is, if you're young, you'll know what it is. If you're older, think of it as Vine. If you still don't know what Vine is, then that's a generation that I don't know how to explain it to you. So we're just gonna have to figure that out on our own. But I have highlighted a couple of really hilarious, really genuine, super real content from Muslims, everyday Muslims who are quarantined like the rest of us, who have cabin fever like the rest of us, who have put up a bunch of hilarious TikToks. There is a disclaimer, I'm not endorsing anyone or anything. This is solely for a good laugh. And so I wanted to bring that up. I think we have our awesome people behind the scenes who are helping us with our, there we go. Okay, so this is gonna be my favorite one. So let's get us started.
What the color of your hijab says about you, part 1. Okay, if you wear a black hijab like every day, you're probably a little bit insecure, and this is the only thing that makes you feel like a little bit confident, but you're actually really pretty. Okay, if you wear a white hijab, you're stunning, okay? How does it feel to be God's absolute favorite, okay? Oh, also you have the best style, no doubt. Floral equals musty. There's nothing wrong with it. I just feel like you're musty. Okay, this hijab style was pretty cute in like 2017. If you have this hijab, burn it. Okay, if your hijab is multiple colors, I'm gonna say it once and I'm never gonna say it again. Fob! You're a fob! Bye. Okay, I feel like every hijabi has a beige or tan hijab. It's just a necessity, you know, like you just need it. If you wear any type of designer hijab, no one likes you. No one likes you. Probably drive a G-Wagon and the only reason you have friends is because they want your money. I'm sorry.
Okay, I think we're gonna just bring it on to the next one and then we'll do the commentaries.
Wow.
Mufti Wasim, I got a question for you. Are fades haram?
You're worried about fades while the youth are fading from the masjid.
Allah!
Mum, this tastes different. Did you put anything different in it?
I put a bit of one.
So those were my favorite top 4 TikToks. And as you can see, they're super short videos. They have voiceovers sometimes. People get to act out different scenes. I'm wearing a floral hijab. Yes, I am Masriya, as evident. I just not planned. Yes, I wear black when I try to be confident. And I think we were all in that one situation where we were eating something and we found out it had gelatin or wine or pork. And so if you need something to kind of laugh, I would highly recommend just watching Funny Things. I think it's great. Speaking of funny things, I know we have a real comic later on, but those are some of my tips in terms of how to do news and keep things happy, and hopefully it was helpful.
Thank you so much, Rowaida. You are absolutely incredible. And this is why I always tell you, I happen to think you are the funniest person. And I will say this in the presence of Saeed. No disrespect, my brother. But definitely check her out. Her news stories have been doing just incredible coverage of what's going on and really a true representation of our community in mainstream media. So check her out. Thank you so much, Rowaida. We very much appreciate it. And we hope everyone is now familiar with TikToks, but please don't go and make a TikTok account if you're not ready for that. And if it's not your forte, I don't know. But guys, one more time, I really want to stress the Launch Good page. I think that, you know, as we started, I haven't seen any action in it, and I want to see a lot more of that action. So I'm asking everybody who's watching us right now, if at least you donate $5. I think you totally can. Thank you, Brother Mustafa, for dropping the link. Please do what you can. I want to show you guys a video of what I'm trying to urge you to do. Maybe that'll help. So I'm going to share my screen and show you guys a video, inshallah, if you could bear with me. Okay. Actually, that's the launch good page, but I'm going to show you this one.
Hunger, disease, thirst. The problems can be endless, but together we can feed, treat, and quench. Right now, millions across the world face hunger, and with the current state due to the coronavirus, there are food shortages across the board. Through Islamic Relief, you can send a food package to places hard to reach for families who really need it. Envision a better world. Donate to Islamic Relief.
So I hope you were able to hear that. And I hope that we can work together and to really not only envision a better world, but to make it happen. That's the kind of stuff we're trying to do together. I mean, while we're here in the comfort of our homes, I'm pretty sure we can all try and bring in some more love into some other homes that are needed. Recently, alhamdulillah, I was able to go to Jordan with a bunch of my sisters from IR and a few of influencers that we have in the Muslim community. And we visited a bunch of refugee camps there. And let me tell you, there's a lot of need out there. You know, it's definitely something that's eye-opening and something to humble us and to constantly remind us of the smallest blessings that we have. You know, when my colleagues and I, we walked into some of the homes for the refugees, there was some that were living in tents and some that were living in semi-homes and some that were living in okay homes, you know? And I have to tell you, like, going in there, every single person always had a smile on their face. Even when they were sharing like the saddest story or whatever, they always smiled and they always wanted to offer us something. The moment we walked into their house, we'd walk in and they'd want to make us tea, coffee, get us snacks, because we're hospitable people. That's just who we are. And so I want us to kind of do that for them. Let's get them a cup of tea. Let's get them a plate of food. Let us do that. Even when we're here, we could still do that. I think we could still share the khair, inshallah. So do me a favor. Go to that link. If shaitan is telling you, hey, I don't have money, you know, I'm struggling right now, or I didn't get my paycheck yet, I want you to know that as Muslims, we believe that when you give, we know that it's not going to be taken away from our money. We know that that money is going to come back to us tenfold. And the best way for you to seek God's protection, God's pleasure, for you to feel better, for you to, there's just so many benefits of you sharing and doing good for others. So please, donate what you can. Bring a plate of food. Bring that snack to a little kid's face. There's so many people that are in need. And I believe the birds in the back agree with me, if you can hear them. So with that said, I will keep urging you, but I want to make sure that we watch this launch good grow. And I want to make sure that we can get to 100% together, because I know we can. We have a lot of incredible people here. So that brings us to somebody who is very special to the IR family, someone who really lightens up the mood when we need it, and sometimes when we don't need it, okay? There's sometimes comments that are said that we don't always need. No, I'm kidding. But, you know, I have to say, I hope you have your snacks ready. I hope you are ready to get your happy on, because if you didn't, you know, I want you to get your happy on and get your snacks ready. We're super pumped to introduce Wahsh al-Comedia, the beast of comedy, Islamic Relief's USA National Volunteer Manager, Gaza's own, the son of Palestine, my brother, Saeed Durrah. Woo!
Thank you.
How are you, Saeed?
Alhamdulillah. I'm good.
So I could see you have so much energy, mashallah. So which kind of
shy because that time, so I'm trying to get more caffeine.
I see that. Saeed, I know you recently got married. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
How is being held hostage so far? I mean, marriage.
Yeah. No. She's here right now, so it's been great. It's been alhamdulillah. I mean, it's been good.
Yeah. If you need something, drop it in the chat box. Yeah, I got you, bro. We got you. Oh man.
Alhamdulillah, it's been amazing.
I'm so proud. So proud. So who's doing the cooking?
It's a joint effort because you get a lot of time now. Props to Instacart for keeping it alive during COVID-19. But no, we mix it up. We cook a lot of stuff. I'm trying to make like as much like Arab food as possible, so I can like, because I don't want to get out and forget, like forget who I am and just walk out. Yeah.
So what's been your go-to snack during this lockdown and this food-a-thon?
Ooh, I've been making, this is going to be crazy, but I've been making a lot of fasulia.
Can you tell me what that is in English?
I don't know why. Fasulia is green beans with like red sauce. By the way, I have to mention, I'm glad that this is like a Zoom thing, because normally it's very difficult for me on the fundraisers to like come and do comedy after the real push and the appeal, because and I wasn't planning on mentioning this, but one of the very first times I ever did comedy, I did it at a fundraising dinner. Okay. And they gave me a card and said, can you read this when you go out there, and just to remind people to give? I said, yeah, give me the card. I walk out there and I wasn't sure what was going to happen. And I read the card. The words in the card were literally like, basically to give a short talk that was like, there are people who are less fortunate. Please don't be wasteful. Don't eat more than your portion. Don't eat this, don't eat that. And it was all talking about like conserving food. And people thought it was a joke because of like my size. And they started to laugh. And I felt the most embarrassed I've ever been. I was like, no, this is for real. And they're like, oh, they brought out the big guy to talk about portion size and don't waste food and don't whatever. So Zoom actually helps me with this, because inshallah, all of us are the same size.
Oh, Saeed.
You know that.
Yeah. I'm glad that Zoom is a good thing for you. I want to know, actually, because you mentioned kitchen and food and cooking. Has your mom given you any tips, by the way, about staying healthy?
No.
Your mom has not even tried to tell you anything, no?
No, because my mom, mashallah alayha, my mom has been a believer probably my whole life. Like, healthy is kind of, something you worry about later on in life, unfortunately, because, but we do like, we try to, don't eat too much knafa, that kind of stuff. The major food groups like, knafa, baglawa, rose mansaf, like all of the major food pyramid items, but no, my mom, she doesn't, because she feels that like if you're too healthy, it implies that you can't cook.
Oh, I see.
Like you don't want, somebody comes over and you serve something too healthy. The assumption is this person couldn't cook. So my mom is very prideful in that. No offense to anybody. I know you all are very health conscious, mashallah, and props to you.
So does your mom, does she have a PhD degree from WhatsApp University like the rest of our moms?
My mom once shared an article on WhatsApp that told you don't believe everything that's on WhatsApp. And it was very tough, because it was like, so do you believe it? Well, and it like almost makes your head like explode, because you're thinking like, if WhatsApp is saying don't believe WhatsApp, do you believe WhatsApp? So, but yeah, no, my dad is the worst one. My dad gets news typically 5 to 6 days after everybody else through WhatsApp. So he'll like, probably about 6 or 7 days ago, he was like, "Smat fi virus? Did you hear? There's COVID-19." I was like, "Yeah, I heard." So he gets it just a little late, but no, they're usually pretty good.
So I'm glad that they're not doing that. I mean, for us, we've been having all sorts of crazy things. I mean, everyone is telling us to have simak, drink that, or have black seed oil, which is gross, but they're forcing it down our throats. Have a lot more honey and ginger, and then suddenly they're telling us to boil weird spices and things and inhale those. I know a lot of people have been saying that about their moms. So I'm glad your mom's not forcing you to do any of that stuff.
I heard, I don't know if it was the CDC or WhatsApp, but they said if everything is stuffed, so stuffed grape leaves, stuffed squash, stuffed lamb, as long as it's stuffed, that way the virus can't get inside. Yeah. I don't know if it was CDC or my aunt.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But either way, just stuff everything. And if you're the kind that actually can do the grape leaves stuffed in the lamb, this not only will this save you from the virus, it like makes you grow taller or something.
The craziest thing is my mom actually made grape leaves today. And I haven't had them just yet, but yeah, I guess they're on the same.
Playing with birds.
That's true. Speaking of that, I mean, I've taken a lot of my work meetings out here, and in the middle of a work meeting, I actually got bitten on my eye with something, and I didn't know what it was. And so I was like half blind for a whole week because I couldn't open my left eye, all because of me playing with birds and things, as you
But
can
mashallah,
see.
it's very serene. I like you have very good mood lighting and everything. It's like
Trying to get you happy.
like the matchmaking at Essma convention or something.
Well, thank you, Saeed, for that comment. We're going to switch over to, I actually was going to ask you a crazy question. Have you developed any of crazy like habits as of recently? Are you on TikTok, or are you talking to your lamp? Are you one of those?
No, I haven't really done anything like that. I do think that I don't know, I think it's all food. Everything is just food based. Everything with me is just food based. Like I started to eat this stuff. I don't know it's like vegetables.
Oh, that's creepy for Saeed. Really?
Yeah, because you can't get meat, like even Instacart and some of the food deliveries, like they never seem to have meat. And then for some reason, I don't know if it's people just looking out for me, but Instacart does this automatic replacement sometimes. But instead of replacing like ground beef with chicken, it replaces ground beef with avocado. And and so I don't know if you've ever had kufta with avocado. It's
so this is what I ask you. Are you being held hostage?
No, I'm good.
Let us know if you need backup. I mean, if somebody is changing your Instacart.
No, I think it's them. That's what I'm saying. I think it's a bad system. All of you know, I'm sure some people in the chat box, they can talk about it too. We should have some sort of like vent session, because the food situation has been tough, but it does make you kind of more appreciative that, for what you have. And so I hope everybody makes some donations.
Yes, definitely. By the way, I noticed you have a clean cut, mashallah. Good job with that. How are you keeping groomed? It's really tough for the rest of us.
Yeah. No, a lot of people don't know this trick, but if you turn on the propane of the grill just a little bit, and before you light it, and it'll take off the top layer. But I don't recommend anybody do it, because you really need a lot of skills. I actually, that's the barbershop thing, has been bad. I cut this with a beard trimmer, but I don't have much hair anyway. But no, it's been very, very, very difficult without a barber. Like, I really, like, alhamdulillah, I'm kind of locked in this situation with my wife, but like, my barber.
Yeah, we're keeping them in our dua for sure.
I'm getting emotional actually talking about it. So.
I was also feeling the same way when I was talking to some of my friends, and I've shared with them some of my little embarrassing stories with hair trimming and things like that. So we're definitely feeling it. I mean, you're at an advantage. You don't have as much to deal with. You have less to maintain, but hey, I was gonna
I've noticed though, I have a question though, because we have a lot of sisters on the panel. I noticed that the sisters tend to have more of the video issues on Zoom. I don't know. Like, I get onto calls a lot and they'll be like, sorry, I'm having video issues. SubhanAllah, I don't know what it is.
I need you to know that makeup is expensive.
I don't know what it is. It's the technology or get better webcams. SubhanAllah, I don't know. It's so crazy. And their sound is perfect because it's a brand new MacBook, but the video is broken. It's weird.
It's like I said, makeup is not cheap, and these are desperate times. These are tough times for all of us, so we need to ration.
Yeah, for sure.
This is actually.
I was asking, maybe the panelists, mashallah, can shed some light on this technology issue.
It's pretty funny. Today is actually the first day that I put on contacts in over a month, and it's just been crazy. I just got so used to wearing my glasses. But that kind of reminds me of, speaking of work and things like that, how are you balancing work from home? How are you able to navigate all that?
I mean, it's honestly tough. Again, like, you used to be able to leave work and then you leave work, like, so 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, you leave work and it's like behind you. But now you never leave work because work is home. So there's never actually, so what I do sometimes is like, I'll work in one room and I'll leave the room at 6. And that's like my way of like, the work is in the den, the work is in another room, but it's difficult. And you don't like, you don't realize how much more you eat at work. Like now when you're at home and you have a fridge and you have everything there, you don't take time to stop. And so it's very important. Like people need to, you know, you don't want to go crazy. People need to like schedule a lunchtime in their day like they would at work, and schedule dinner and schedule these things, because otherwise you end up going crazy cooking fasuli all day, hypothetically.
Yeah. I mean, for us, our household, and I think it's for a lot of people as well, every single day we're baking a cake, for crying out loud. We're baking cakes and we eat them in the same night. My family, and my parents, they're probably going to get mad at me for sharing this, but just last week they baked a cake and in less than 30 minutes, half of it was gone. And then the next day, we actually made ma'moul, which is like these Arabic sweets and things like that. And they made, I think, like 5 batches. And in 24 hours, we ate them all. You know, we ate them all. And no regrets at all. But that reminds me, did you know that as of today, we are exactly 1 week away from Ramadan?
Yep.
Do you believe that? So, subhanAllah, it's incredible. Allahumma balighna Ramadan. We ask Allah to allow us to witness Ramadan, inshallah. I want to know, what are some of your favorite Ramadan traditions and snacks? Because I thought of ma'moul and that just triggered my memory.
So as I was telling you before, like my definition of snack is stretched out a little bit, because I don't consider like chips, like most people probably watching this, you consider chips a snack. Like I don't consider it, doesn't register on the meal scale at all. For me, it's like oxygen. But like I would probably say like a good snack for me is probably, I would say probably something like knafa, like cold knafa. You ate it the night before, and like that morning for sahur, like you wanted to have a snack, so you had some knafa, but it will make you thirsty, so you got to drink chai with it, so you don't end up, you know, getting that sweet thirst. But I'm really looking forward to Ramadan, because there's words you hear in Ramadan that you don't hear any other time, like atayif. And different things like that. But no, alhamdulillah, I think it's going to be a blessed Ramadan. And, you know, I think everybody is knocking, you know, the potential for this year's Ramadan, as if like, I know if we can't go to the masjid, this is a major thing, but like, I think it's going to actually bring a lot of people closer with their families and stuff like that. So there's a good benefit to that everybody will kind of be at home and they'll go back to making those international phone calls that are really loud and stuff like that.
Yes. You know what? That actually reminds me. I swear, I was in a very important meeting and my mom is in her room and she's talking and I can hear her conversation seeping into my call. She's talking to Khalti, my aunt, from there. And it's as if like, you know, the distance, we have to make up for it with our voices. And so there's, what did you do? And I'm like, okay. Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, I'll be sure to call you back. So we're definitely having a lot of those moments here, alhamdulillah, during this lockdown. But what are some of your favorite Ramadan traditions?
Ramadan traditions. Obviously, I like, one of my favorite things, I hate making all of these food related. Well, I don't mean to sound like they're all like food related, but one of my favorite Ramadan traditions is like that late night sahur. You all know, like all of you, especially the millennial types, there's a new like IHOP sahurs and all of these things that happen. Like we've been doing that since back in the day. This is nothing new, right? But I'm talking about like the 2 a.m. to 3 a.m., like, you know, that kind of thing, or like the hangout sessions outside the masjid after Taraweeh and that kind of stuff. So those are some of my favorite traditions. But also but I do have one thing that I don't like. Not about the month of Ramadan, astaghfirullah, but like just one of the traditions now that's starting up is this new thing that everybody's doing called potlucks. I think this is disrespectful, like to have a potluck, because it used to be, that's when you show your skills. Like somebody says, come over for iftar, that's when they're gonna flex their skills, their cooking skills on you and everything. But now there's this potluck. So, and I gotta make the food and bring it to your house for my iftar. So I have to cook it fresh and then drive in the car 1 hour smelling it, and then come to your house and put it on the table and watch you eat my food? Like it doesn't make sense to me. So hopefully we can get rid of these potlucks and go back to the old days where, you know, you and 4 people would show up to an iftar and it's just this huge spread of food, you know, and then take the extra food and take it to a shelter or something and donate it, you know, and let people, you know, have some good food. But this new potluck thing, I'm not down. Sorry.
Oh man, Saeed. You know, they say sharing is caring, but I guess it depends, right? It depends on what kind of sharing.
Yeah.
So we know that this Ramadan, subhanAllah, is going to be different for a lot of people around the world because of our Islamic centers being closed down and social gatherings not really being a thing. So I just feel like we're very grateful, and we should be a little bit extra grateful, I guess, with all the blessings that Allah has bestowed upon us, alhamdulillah. I know that, Saeed, you've been fortunate enough to visit several of Islamic Relief's projects around the world. Can you kind of share how those projects, what kind of favorite memories do you have from those projects, things like that?
So I'll tell you, it's been probably one of the hardest things you'll ever do is, and I'm not talking about like this, like voluntourism that some people do. They're like, I'm going to go help, take some selfies and come home. I'm talking about the legit, you know, the legit trips that people go on and they visit. I went and I visited some refugee camps. I was fortunate enough to visit, you know, Islamic Relief projects, and I'll never, probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do as trying to be funny and as a comedian was going and visiting one of the refugee camps, and there was a couple kids there who were just standing there and they weren't saying anything, they weren't smiling, and I happened to be there, by the way, on Eid, so I was able to see a lot of the distributions and things that you're raising money for. So this kid was standing there and wasn't saying anything, wasn't playing with the kids, wasn't smiling, nothing. And I said, you know, what's up with this kid? And they said, oh, he doesn't smile, you know, and because he had witnessed, you know, something I won't even mention on this chat that had happened to his mom while they were crossing over, you know, basically an assault to his mom, the worst kind of assault. And ever since then, he stopped talking. He doesn't talk, he doesn't smile, nothing. And I came and I said, well, I'm going to go and try to get him to laugh, you know, and it became the hardest performance I've ever had to put on because I was doing everything. It didn't matter. I was doing facial expressions. I was doing everything you could possibly imagine. And finally, towards the end of the day, maybe like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, I remember, you know, doing something. And finally, this child who had not, I'm like my best stuff, my best real jokes, my best everything I put on this kid, nothing. And at the very end, just before we left, about an hour before we left, you know, I remember like a ball, like a soccer ball or something, just smacking me in the face, and this kid just cracked a smile. And I was just like, yes, victory, victory, you know, like that's all it took was me to be in pain, you know, to get this kid. I literally got smacked in the face. And so I was able to kind of sit there and talk to, you know, a lot of the families and everything. So we take it for granted here when you talk about like Ramadan food boxes, like we're just like, okay, you know, big deal, you know, okay, it's a box, alhamdulillah, I'd like to support it. But you have no idea the amount of need that are in these places. Did you know that the food box itself, the box, I'm not talking about the food in the box, the box, one of the families was saying that's probably one of the best things they've received because they used it to close off the hole where their window is supposed to be in their home. They had a small home and they used the boxes and they weaved them inside of the bars on the window to keep the elements out and to keep people out of their home. Is it the box that we get every day from Amazon or whoever and we toss in the recycle? The box itself is being used for security purposes. I mean, subhanAllah. So, you know, this $30, $40, $50, whatever the amount of money that goes, it's not enough. It's not enough. So, you know, I could say jokes all day long on a stage, but that right there, it humbled me, and it really allowed me to appreciate it and appreciate what, you know, what these folks are going through. And anybody who feels bad for any of those people, it's not about feeling bad. Feel bad for yourself if you're not helping. Those people are smarter They have more skills, they have more potential. They just don't have the opportunities that we have. That's why we're blessed, alhamdulillah. So this food box can honestly be the difference between, you know, somebody having some hope for a day and then not. So sorry, I know that's not a funny
No,
story.
you're 100% right, Saeed, because you know what? A similar story as well in some of the refugee camps that I was able to visit. We went to this one home and they were telling us how every single day they have bread and water, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Every single day they were saying that. And, you know, sometimes they take the bread and they put it into water to soak it, to soften it up. And so I was thinking, like, you know, during Ramadan, that's the time that they wait for these food boxes to come so they can have a different taste in their mouth, so they can have a different meal on the table. That's something that I feel like we take for granted. Like a lot of us, you know, right now, I was asking you about what are some of maybe your favorite foods or favorite things, whatever, right? And we all have our favorite traditions during Ramadan and things that we really look forward to, like some of us like specific sweets or things like that. And we forget that there's a lot of people around there who they just want a plate of rice. They want sugar. They want pasta. They want a little bit of meat if possible. They want these different things. And we totally forget about that. So I want you guys to, when you're thinking about your favorite recipes that you want to cook up, or you're asking your mom to make you something specific, or you're going out there and you're trying to buy more things, please think of the other people too who also deserve to change the plate that might be in front of them, or lack of a plate. Some people don't even have anything coming through and they don't even know what's going on. So let's share the love, inshallah. I appreciate that, Saeed. Thank you for telling us about that. You're awesome. And you know, you definitely always keep a smile on our faces. And I'm fortunate enough, alhamdulillah, to work in the same organization as Saeed. And so a lot of our meetings tend to intertwine, and we're in constant Zoom meetings with one another. And so to me right now, it just feels like I'm in another Zoom meeting with Saeed. But he's always entertaining us with his amazing backgrounds, and he's always lightening up the mood whenever things seem a little bit stressful. I want you guys to know that, you know, Islamic Relief, we're human too. You know, we like to laugh, we get tired, there's a lot going on, but alhamdulillah, we're super happy and proud to say that as of the pandemic, when it hit, that thank God we've been able to support domestically close to $2 million. We've been able to assist with Islamic centers and a lot of social service organizations to help the community here. And internationally, we've pledged $10 million with the Islamic Relief family. So I want you guys to know that while we're here being happy and trying to change the mood, it's also for us too personally. We also needed a breather, because we're out there every single day like you guys, dealing with the realities and trying to shift focus and trying to serve our communities to the best of our capacity. And I thank Saeed a lot, and I thank my colleagues, and I thank our leadership for making sure that, you know, we're continuing the work and we're taking care of one another and things like that. Saeed, do you have anything left that you want to tell our viewers? A word of advice about hanging in there?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, stay positive and just remember that don't let any of this stuff compromise you all. You know, I will say this, and the last memory that I have of the refugee camp is on Eid, when they didn't have enough food to feed the individuals that were in line at the camp. And I said, so what happens? How do you tell them no? And this is something I want, like, it should live inside of everybody, just so you know how this works. When they said that, they said, Saeed, we never have to tell them no. And I said, so how does that work? You know, people walk up and they ask for food. How do you? And they said, you'll see. We never have to tell them no. Wallahi, I'll never forget this. When anybody would come up to them and say, can we have a supply of food? We don't have any food. And they would be literally having their 4 kids, 5 kids with them, you know, in really tough spot. They would tell them, they say, listen, I can give you a box of food, but if I do, that means that somebody else that was supposed to get this box wouldn't receive it. Wallahi, I stood there for 2 hours. Every single person that they said that to said, no, that box wasn't meant for me, and never asked to take that box. So they never took a box out of the hands of a family that should receive it. So just think to yourself, if you're going through anything right now, or if you're thinking, oh, this COVID-19 has got me down and all that stuff, say alhamdulillah, get one of these boxes and just think to yourself, imagine this family, what they're gonna do when they open that box, see that food. The first thing they're gonna do is they're gonna say, Ya Allah, you know, please keep in mind, you know, please give my thanks, please give my love, please protect and watch over this individual who provided me this box. And for me, come on, man, $50, $60, $70 to get that dua, you lucky you're not selling it for $1,000.
Yeah,
That's priceless.
Definitely. I mean, like, it's such a, you know, for God to choose you to answer someone else's prayer, you know, for someone to be in a tough situation and to be like, oh Allah, please help me feed my children, or help ease the situation. And then for Allah to choose you to be the one to answer that person's call for $50.
$50.
$50.
Okay, if they say Jannah is at the feet of your mother that you know, then what's at the feet of the mother you don't know? You know what I'm saying? $50? Come on. Sorry, I'm turning into a fundraiser right now. But
No, I mean, I absolutely love it, because you know what? You have a soft heart. And I know that a lot of the people that are with us tonight, they also have a soft heart. And we definitely want to continue to feel for one another. And we want to bring food to the table. We want to bring smiles to the table. And so I thank you, Saeed. And I hope that, you know, all of our viewers, they smiled along with us. Because as you know, our Prophet, peace be upon him, he taught us that smiling in the face of your brother is charity. And while we've done so virtually, I still hope that you've felt the love nonetheless, and that Allah accepts from us all. I want to tell you guys that we're currently at 40% of our goal, and I'm not too happy about that. This is the happy webinar, and I want to be happy, but I'm not too happy at being 40%. When we should be at a much higher percentage than that. I know we have some big ballers watching us. You can afford to make it up and get the rest, inshallah. Let's get to 100%. There's no need why we can't get there. Please keep your eye on the launch good. I know that we have our amazing team. I want to give a special thank you to Brother Mustafa Badruddin for assisting with this. I also want to give a huge shout out to Sister Maryam Hassan. She's our national events planner. She's been assisting with collecting questions and things like that, and helping from the back end. So thank you guys to everybody helping, and thank you to Brother Naeem, who's managing the YouTube channel. I very much appreciate that. So right before we jump into the Q&A, if you have questions to any of our panelists, please submit them so that way we can ask them. But I want to tell you guys that we are actually working on something incredible. And since now I feel like we're all friends, and I want to tell you as my friends, that we are working on America's largest virtual grand iftar. Yeah, you heard that right. It's going to be amazing. We're going to be live from coast to coast, starting from 6 p.m. Eastern all the way to the West Coast Maghrib time. Think of it as a countdown to iftar, and we're all going to be sharing the meal together. We have an amazing lineup of speakers, a lot of surprise appearances, special guests coming through. You might see some familiar faces. It's going to be awesome. You want to be part of it. You want to get your seat. And to do that, you have to go to irusa.org/live. That'll give you all the information that you need in terms of when, how, and all that good stuff. This is happening Sunday, April 26th, the third day of Ramadan. We're going to be there for you because we know this Ramadan is going to be different. And so we want to bridge that gap. And while we might be socially distant, we want to be spiritually connected and spiritually with one another. So be there, register. I want to see your faces. All right. So now we want to know, are there any questions for our panelists, if that could be shared? Actually, while we're getting that, I want to ask each one of you, Essma, what's your favorite Ramadan tradition?
I mean, I really love IHOP's food. Like Saeed, when he said that, I was like, man, I did not realize we're not going to do that. And I also love almost every single day on the last 10 days, after Fajr, my friends and I would go to watch the sunrise in Edgewater, New Jersey. So in Edgewater, it's like right by the Hudson River, and you see the sunrise behind the New York City skyline. It's absolutely beautiful. I guess we could kind of still do that and just each like sit on our own cars next to each other, but I'm going to miss the togetherness of it.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because Essma, you're actually, and I'll say this publicly, you are my go-to Ramadan buddy. We do i'tikaf together, we pray tarawih together, we do all these things, and Essma is incredible because last year when I was doing a lot of traveling during Islamic Relief, while working for Islamic Relief and trying to get much needed aid to people, she joined me on a lot of trips. And then after we would finish the events and things like that, we would actually go and stop at a masjid, meet up together, and just spend the entire night trying to get closer to Allah. So I'm definitely going to miss that, but we can do it virtually, I feel.
I don't know about that. I'm trying not to look at screens, but yes, we could try. But yeah, me and Sana, our Africats would be really funny because we get along so well. So we'd be like, all right, we're going to pray. And the next thing you know, we're like talking for like a good hour. And then we're like, no, we're going to pray again. And then somehow just keep finding our way back to each other. Alhamdulillah, good times.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Don't expose us too much, Essma. So I want to ask Rowaida, what's your favorite Ramadan tradition?
Oh man, I think there's so many, but I have to pick just a handful. Well, it definitely top of that list is that first sip of coffee after the long fasting day. I think on the way to Tarawih, you see every single Muslim at your Dunkin' Donuts, at your Starbucks, you're all there for the same reason. I feel like all the local coffee shops know, that the Muslims are coming and they're all going to be caffeinated between 8 p.m. and 3 a.m. And so that's a beautiful taste. But honestly, between that and I think just the communal aspect of Ramadan is incredibly powerful. And Essma, like you were saying, I think I was struggling a little bit and just trying to, readjust the gears. How are we still going to have the communal aspect to Ramadan? We're also used to, especially in Jersey, we represent so strong. The masajids are filled of hundreds, sometimes thousands of people easily. And that's going to be tough. We're going to miss that. And I think there's going to be so many opportunities that IR is doing, a lot of the messages are doing for us to partake in. But I think the one thing that I'm looking forward to is doing the me time. I think maybe this is a testing time and an intentional time. I'm looking forward to practicing some seclusion and to really trying to develop a more of a personal relationship with Ramadan this year. And so it's gonna come with its challenges. I'll still have that first sip of coffee to help me along the way this month, but I think there's going to be a lot of beautiful moments and it'll be a memorable Ramadan for sure, I think, for all of us.
Yeah, definitely. Fazia, what about you? What are you looking forward to in Ramadan, or what are some of your favorite Ramadan traditions?
Honestly, what I'm gonna really miss, which is our favorite tradition, we always have every weekend packed. We literally fight over who's gonna get which weekend to do this or at their house. And I'm really gonna miss that. I'm gonna really miss the family aspect. We have a huge family here and in Jersey. And I think that's the one tradition we always have. So it's just be a little weird without it.
Well, we can start new traditions, I feel. Why not start new ones?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a very special and unique Ramadan. We might not, hopefully it won't be like this forever, but I feel like maybe now is a good time for us to start something new and beautiful, right?
So my mother-in-law was saying that, since we have to be 6 feet apart, why don't we do this? We'll go outside. We'll have this long tablecloth, have our family, and just have everyone sitting together 6 feet apart. She was making jokes, but I'm like, what, that might actually work. We might actually try it. Just kidding. We're gonna follow the rules. But maybe that'll be a new tradition. Who knows? Or just doing Zoom every weekend. Sitting down all at the same time. We're all actually sitting down at the same time. Breaking our fast. So why not just? Yes, I know it's a screen, but maybe turn on the screen and just enjoy looking at each other while we eat. I don't know. Might be fun,
Yeah, no, definitely. Finding any reason or any way possible to try and make it feel a little bit less lonely, a little less, I don't know, robotic or plain, or I don't know what the right word is. But, staying away from the screen too, like Essma mentioned, we're all working nonstop from our computers. School, for the young children, they're doing their schooling from a computer, and and we all know that kids were already on their phones and on laptops and on TVs for way too long. So now adding that whole school element is difficult too. So we have to make sure that we're getting them the right amount of sunlight exposure, fresh air, things like that. You can tell that the dark is getting to me. But no, alhamdulillah. Saeed, I see you smiling there. What are you looking forward to this Ramadan?
Man, at this point, I'm going to say alhamdulillah when I arrive in Ramadan, because it has been a tough time. But, inshallah, I'm looking forward this Ramadan to see a lot of the the good content, you know, people are pulling out. I see a lot of awesome webinars. You just mentioned like the Grand Iftar, but I see a lot of people doing some good online content and things like that. But I think your other panelists hit it on the head, like just, you know, some quiet, just leave you with your own thoughts, you know, and less Zooms with Sana and others, you know, and just more, I'm just kidding.
No, that's honestly, yeah, that's definitely true, because yesterday I was just finishing up a work meeting, and then I was like to my mom, I can't wait for me to have a break. She's like, you're working from your room. What are you talking about? I'm like, you don't understand. like we all need that time to catch up and to be alone, and to kind of self-reflect and things like that. I want to give everybody an update. So we're on 43% of our goal. Now that's a little bit more, but that's still not enough. That's come on, guys. I need a lot more than that. Everybody, definitely, please share the link. It's launchgood.com/Ramadan-box. Launchgood.com/Ramadan-box. Share it with everybody. I urge you guys to do that. I urge you to be someone that brings love to people, because like there's a lot of folks around the world that are feeling forgotten. We're all out here and we're all trying to get the most supplies possible, the most amount of food possible, the most amount of toilet paper possible, and I don't know why. Whatever, no judgment. But it's still, let's show them that they're not forgotten. Let's show those orphans, those refugees, those vulnerable families around the world that you are not forgotten, that we still love you. And even if you're never going to meet them in person, hopefully you'll get to meet them in Jannah, inshallah. Maybe we'll make such a dua for you that, hey, you guys get to meet in the best place possible. So please continue to share the link, continue to do what you can. I want to know if, is there any questions there? Because I know that the chat box is going all crazy, and I'm so happy to see that you guys are being very animated and it looks like you're enjoying. If you've enjoyed the webinar, give us like a 1 or a thumbs up to let us know everything's all good. I'm very happy to see that. Mustafa's smiling. Mustafa, what's your favorite Ramadan tradition?
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Yeah, so I'm actually laughing before I answer your question. I'm laughing because I told everybody in the chat box, if you've shared the link, give us a 1. But then you said if you're enjoying the webinar, send it. I was like, no, not a 1. Alhamdulillah. So inshallah, I'm happy everybody's enjoying the webinar. I'm enjoying it myself. So one of my favorite things in Ramadan, well, dates, of course, from Medina. I love dates so much. They're right next to me. Saeed, you want one? I love kunafa bil manga. That's great. I'm thinking of food right now because I haven't had dinner yet. But one of my really favorite traditions is Salat al-Tarawih. I really enjoy Tarawih. And I have my favorite masjid that I go to, ICUC. And I pray there and here in New Jersey, and I enjoy the prayer there and the dua. The dua is one of my favorite parts of Tarawih. And you know, I was wondering, what am I going to do this year without Tarawih? You know, it's crazy. So, but wallahi, the same sheikh, my favorite khatib, Sheikh Saeed al-Qasabi, was giving a Jum'ah khutbah lecture today, and I was watching it, and he said something that really stuck to me. He said that, you know, didn't Sayyidina Yunus alayhi salam, wasn't he isolated for 3 days and still worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all by himself? Didn't the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Prophet Muhammad, our most beloved Prophet, wasn't he in isolation for 6 months in the Kahf of Hira? And wasn't he worshiping Allah for 6 months all alone? And wasn't Sayyidina Yusuf 9 years in isolation in jail, worshiping Allah, and that was what he made dua for, you know, and he was able to worship Allah all by himself. So I think that this is a huge test for all of us, and inshallah we can reflect and we can inshallah have the best Ramadan possible. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, subhanallah, you know, we should be so grateful for a lot of things that we have. And I encourage everybody to please continue to donate on LaunchGood, because, you know, a lot of people don't have what we have. Alhamdulillah, wallahi. So,
thank you. Jazakallah khair, Mustafa. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Do we get to ask questions?
Sorry?
Do panelists get to ask questions?
Sure.
Because I would love to know from the other panelists, what has been your most embarrassing trying to abide by social distancing COVID-19 moment? We've all had at least 10 where I'm talking about like gloves inside out or something like that. Like, I would love to hear that, because I've been watching those on Instagram and they're hilarious. So what do the panelists think?
Essma looks like she's ready to answer. Go ahead, Essma, because you're out there a lot.
No, I'm trying to think of one that I can share on a webinar.
For a big enough donation, she will share it tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, give your donation. She will share it tonight, inshallah.
Oh man. Okay, so one really funny one. So I work, like, work has been crazy for me, and obviously working from home. And then, like, one of my colleagues, I just had everyone call me on my work cell, and one of my colleagues is being really annoying and insists on calling me on my, like, work desk number, which is in Philadelphia where I work. So I was like, well, you're a knucklehead, what are you doing? But he's like, no, you'll get the call on your laptop. So I was like, okay, whatever. I don't realize that when you pick up on your laptop, the camera turns on. And I'm like, hijabi, who, like, does not have hijab on, in my bedroom, like, chilling, looking like Chewbacca, because it was, like, really early in the morning. And all of a sudden, there's, like, oh, Dwight got called me, and I'm like, I, like, jump away, and I'm throwing things everywhere, and I'm just, like, screaming, and he has no idea what's going on. I, like, have to, like, take a moment to be like, okay, and mind you, like, my laptop is thrown across the room, and he's still talking. He's still like, so am I gonna help you? And I'm like, that's like, oh my gosh. Anyway, I'm yelling in Arabic, like, telling him off, but I recovered, and now I have, like, a little sticker. I have this collection of stickers at my desk, and every single time I open my work laptop, I put one of these stickers on the camera, because I'm like, you're not getting me anymore. And that's my story.
You really self-exposed, alhamdulillah. That's great to hear. What about Rowaida?
I think I'm embarrassed to say, but Essma, hopefully this will make you feel a little bit better, that I've had exactly one of those moments. I think with an influx of Zoom calls and video chats and Google Hangouts and webinars, people should really specify when something is going to be a video chat versus a phone call. And so, like, please, guys, for, you know, the sake of Muslim women and just everyone anywhere. I think the first time I was doing an interview for one of my stories with this nonprofit, and they were using a different third-party system. It wasn't Zoom, it wasn't Google Hangouts, and so I wasn't used to it. And so I'm opening it a couple minutes early, and I'm kind of in my bed, and my laptop is really close. So you just, like, see, you know, like when you try to FaceTime your grandparents or your parents, and, like, you're just like, Mama, like, I need you to make space with the camera. Like, that was me. I was very intimate until I started hearing voices, and I did the same thing of just shutting my laptop and, like, putting on a hoodie and trying to, you know, save myself. I don't know how much of myself I saved, because it's usually the damage is done. And so, been there. I have a feeling a lot of hijabis have been there and non-hijabis have been there. So that's been very tough. So my PSA is, please, when you're making your Zoom calls and your meetings, let's be more specific, you know, for everyone's sake.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Fazia, what about you? What's your embarrassing moment so far?
I don't know. Honestly, I can't think of.
Fazia doesn't get embarrassed.
I don't want to put you on the spot and say what I know, but I would love for you to share something that you.
I can't think at all right now. I'm trying to think, but go for it. You share a story about me, please.
No, I mean, just a few days ago, you shared the video of your little daughter, and she was, like, scrolling through her phone. And can you tell us what she was saying? Well, she was, I think, mimicking someone, either you or someone from your family. And she was pretty spot on.
I don't know what she was saying. I don't know what she was talking about, because somehow she killed her father in there, and I don't know. It was very weird. She's like, yeah, well, he died. And he died in Pakistan. Oh, wait, no, actually, he's back. He's over here. I don't know. She had this, like, really weird story, and I don't know where she got it from. It wasn't me. I don't know. That's her. That's what I mean. She's the one that cut her hair, remember? She cut her own hair. And she's the one with the Q-tips and the perfume, and she's doing all sorts of crazy things. So,
oh, God bless her. It's amazing. Honestly, it's something that we have to definitely find joy in, you know? Like, alhamdulillah for these little comic reliefs that we need. Very, 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 very important to have. I see here that we're joined by someone who's very near to us. I'm not sure if they're joining here for anything specific. Oh, no, just getting a thumbs up from someone. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Alhamdulillah, so far we are on 44% of the goal. Okay, we went a percent up. So let's do some more of that. I want to see more up. Okay, please share the link. I believe we have our director of fundraising of Islamic Relief, someone very, very dear to all of us, Sheikh Ahmed Shahata. I think if we can kindly have him do some closing remarks, closing dua.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you so much, Sana, for this amazing idea. I really enjoyed it. I have been trying to switching from YouTube to Zoom to I'm really enjoying the idea. And thank you so much again for being the face and the leadership of Islamic Relief, not just in Northeast region, but one of the main managers and co-workers that I depend on a lot. I trust your skills, wallahi. Thanks so much, Brother Saeed, for doing amazing job representing Islamic Relief, bringing us all together under your leadership for the COVID-19 committee. We have done a lot of good things because of the help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then from our awesome, amazing community and supporters of Islamic Relief. I have heard the speakers' wishes and what they are going to miss during this month of Ramadan. Me as well, like you, I'm going to miss a lot of things. Let me tell you something. Initially, the Taraweeh is Sunnah, and before Umar ibn al-Khattab's time, used to be done individually. So everyone prays Taraweeh by himself. So Umar ibn al-Khattab, radiallahu anhu, the one who came up with the idea of bringing people together to pray Taraweeh together. But initially, Taraweeh is Sunnah to be done by yourself. So we still have a good chance. Take it from the perspective that we're going to have the Sunnah as is, as the Prophet ﷺ used to do it, or at home with your own family. And secondly, I was talking to my kids today during Khutbah al-Jum'ah. Every human being now is literally suffering because of COVID-19. And imagine that we as a Muslim approaching Ramadan, inshallah, we're going to be one of the main reasons that we're going to make 30 days of dua for all human beings. For all human beings, every day during Maghrib, every day during Tahajjud, every day during the Iftar, we're going to make dua for all human beings worldwide to have asking for mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during month of Ramadan. So I think this is our own responsibility as a supporters for Islamic Relief, and this is my request. Beside the donation that we are looking for, we need your dua, especially during month of Ramadan. One more time, Jazakumullah khair Sana, Jazakumullah khair Maryam, Jazakumullah khair Mustafa, Saeed, Essma, everyone else joined the webinar. And may ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from all of us. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر صلى اللهم وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. السلام عليكم.
Barakallah feek, Sheikhna. That was a beautiful ending, alhamdulillah, to a beautiful night. Thank you everybody so much for being such incredible audience. Jazakumullah khair. Don't forget the link, launchgood.com/Ramadan box. Sending all of our love. Ramadan Mubarak. See you April 26th, Sunday, for the Grand Iftar, America's biggest virtual iftar, 6 p.m. Eastern. Go to irusa.org/live, irusa.org/live. We love you. Assalamu alaikum.